first started his podcast, I don't remember if he had a guest or what he was doing yet, but like he was pulling a couple 100,000 views on each podcast, and I was like, honestly, it's about the same that Impulsive pulls, but I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know like what could happen for George for me to think this is more relevant than Impulsive now, but I think having Andrew Tate on was that thing.
Welcome back to the Riff Podcast. Today, talking about Andrew Tate and George Janko. All right.
And your foamy milk.
And my foamy milk, dude. At first off, do you think it's weird that I drink milk at night?
Oh, is that actually milk? I thought that was your eggnog.
No, this is milk.
That one's actually
dude,
milk.
this is real. This is raw milk, okay?
I already said you were going to say something about your milk last time, so I didn't ask. So keep the milk statement brief and let's keep going.
Dude, it's raw milk. All this other crap. You know how people say lactose intolerant? It's crap. It's because the pasteurized milk that everyone drinks, all that stuff that goes through the factories that they pump vitamin D into, calcium, all this crap in it. They literally, like, this is raw. Raw milk. That's what raw milk looks like, right? Thick, nice. It's full of micro and macronutrients that you need to be healthy.
Do I think that's probably more natural milk? Yes. Do I think lactose intolerant people could drink that and not have any issues? I don't know. And I don't think you know for a fact either, Mr. Dr. Summers.
I don't. I'm not lactose intolerant. I drink raw milk.
That's all I'm saying. But like, if somebody's watching and you're
in
like,
my-
lactose intolerant, not real. Somebody will have to be like, all right, pal. Like,
Oh, I'm telling whoever's out there, go out, get literal, like go to a farm. Don't buy the crap that says raw milk at the grocery store because that's crap too, okay? Go to a farm, get milk from a dairy farmer that comes directly from the cow, and you can drink it and you're going to be fine.
but over there, put sketchy stuff in the cow.
Oh, like hormones and stuff? Oh, then they're screwed too.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Yeah, you got it. The cow has to be clean too. All right.
Raise yourself a cow.
Yeah. Raise yourself a cow.
Milk the cow.
No, but it is so not from me, from testimonials of people that I have seen and maybe not know, but I mean, we didn't. That Jeremy guy that we ran with, he was lactose intolerant.
Oh, yeah, I know.
So I mean, I guess I don't know. No, we ran at a race with him. Anyways, okay, we're talking about Andrew Tate, dude. All right, Andrew Tate and George Janko. They had a podcast a few days ago, or I guess weeks ago, or whatever it is, where really and truly, like, Andrew had that podcast with Patrick Bet-David after he came out of like the prison or whatever.
Was he the one that said Andrew Tate sits down with a therapist? Or is that another guy? I know he had a few interviews as soon as he got out.
Yeah, well, he sat down with a therapist before. I don't know if that was. Has he had a few? I thought he only had like one or two.
Well, I know he had. I remember I watched like part of the one with Bet-David, but I didn't know who he was at the time. And then, like a few weeks later after that one, another one came out by not by Andrew Tate, but by the guy interviewing my guest. He said Andrew Tate sits down with therapist after getting out of jail or whatever.
I don't know about that, but I do know. I mean, I know that this is his first one where he's off of house arrest.
Yeah.
Right. So he's starting to get back into the kind of scene of things, right? Where he's back in media. I think he's still like under bail. Like he's still being watched by everyone very, very in depth. But George, I guess, George has his own podcast, right? I know he's brought on like Alex Eubank. He's not going with big mainstream guys, but they're still good internet guys that he's talked with. And I watched a few of his podcasts. He had Patrick Bet-David on his podcast, and they talked, and it was a good interview.
What happened with everyone having him on like the same time? Like Nelk, him. I don't know when George had him on. He did
a book. He just put his book out.
And then Bradley Martin had him on. Like all of them had like the same week.
No, he just put his book out like literally December 3rd or something. And so they do those book tours.
So he probably reached out to them too.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. His team reached out to him and said, "Hey, can we do a podcast on your show?" And they're like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." That's usually how it works. Like same with Rogan. They'll go out. Like Bet-David went on Rogan a month ago maybe, but it's because his book and stuff. So. Anyways, Andrew ended up coming out. He didn't have a book coming out or anything. He just wants to help. What he says in this is that his whole purpose now, like he went from making money, right? He's made his money. Now he's kind of moving into this almost like spiritual. Like he still wants to teach men how to be men.
Yeah.
Almost. But he's moving now, which I like, into more of the spiritual like realm almost.
Yeah.
He has a spiritual like Islamic, right? I think he like a year ago came out as Muslim or said, I guess it's coming out. Whatever, he joined the Muslim religion.
Not transferred, transition to whatever.
Yeah, well, because what he said before is he grew up Christian, then he became atheist, and then he realized that was terrible, so now he's Muslim.
Yeah.
I guess he just hops from religion to religion. I don't know how that works. You know, I guess what you believe, you can change that. I don't know, it's your thing. But George...
Sounds like you don't believe in that statement.
What?
I mean, I guess you can
swap
from side to side. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know how you could believe in something like that and swap.
Well, that's what he probably believed in. Like, he grew up Christian, so he believed in after he got older, he, like, started thinking on his own. So then he went atheist, and then I'm sure he realized, because he said multiple times, he's like the reason he thinks having a religion is so important is so you have a set of morals and stuff to follow. So I'm sure that's how it started, and maybe now he's like getting more into it.
Yeah,
and also Muslims or Islam's like the most strict religion too. Like they stick the most to their morals, like by the book at least.
And I don't know, like I mean, there's a lot of Muslims, right? Aren't there? There's a ton of them.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, because there's built a lot of Muslim countries. How many of those people are sticking to it though? Or are they sticking to it because the rules are easier? Like, why? Like, for instance, a man can have many wives, or a man can only have one wife. Which rule is easier to stick to? Like, okay, you have strict rules, but your rules aren't as, you know what I'm saying? Which is, once again, it's your religion. Like, it's not, it's what you believe in.
I really don't know how it works, but I think it's the same as, like, because, like, I'm Christian, but I think Catholics are also Christian. I'm more Baptist. I'm, like, further on the bottom of the spectrum. How I see it is like Baptists and then Catholics is like the most strict and Christian, and Baptist is probably like one of the least strict, not least strict, but less strict.
I think it depends on the church that you go to. Because I've seen some Baptists.
But in general, I think most Catholic churches are more strict than most Baptist churches.
More tradition, I think, is what I've seen. I've seen that there's more tradition, and so maybe that comes with being strict. Like maybe tradition is more strict.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do this during the ceremony, otherwise you get in trouble. I don't know how it works. Baptist, it's definitely more free form and like we're gonna do what we want.
And that's also just my personal experience. Like most Catholics I've met seem more like religious than a lot of my Baptist friends.
Yeah, and so then you go into Muslim or Islamic. Is Muslim a type of Islam? Or I don't know how that works. Like, because that's the thing is there's denominations of Christianity that loosens the rules, because one guy said, I don't like this rule, so we're going to switch that because in the Bible it says this, so I'm going to interpret in this way, so this is now our following.
I don't know enough about all that stuff to really say. I know, like, if you say the wrong thing, it will really piss some people off, so I don't know enough really to talk about it.
No, I agree. Like, all I'm saying, and once again, it comes down to, like, what they talked about in this whole podcast is a lot of it being that Christianity and Muslim and Judaism is all along the same lines, right?
Well, no, yeah, most of it.
Like everyone's on the same team.
Yeah.
Who's not on the same team are the atheist.
Yeah.
Right? Atheist, that is like, what do you believe in? Like, those people are lost.
Yeah.
They don't believe in anything. So if they don't believe in a higher power, then they think they're the higher power.
Yeah.
Right, which then becomes an issue. But it was a very interesting podcast with both of them because George is a Christian and he's smart. Yeah. Like, I didn't realize how smart he actually is.
Yeah.
Because he was on Impulsive with Logan, and you could see like he was, like Logan and Mike are going back and forth, and they have their own beliefs and stuff. And I think Mike's a Christian as well, right?
I don't know.
I think he is. And Logan's like, I think he's atheist.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's atheist. And so
I know at least like a few months ago, whenever George was like the end of George's time on the show, he definitely was, because like he'd come straight on the show and like make jokes about religion, like about George and stuff. But like more recently, probably because he got so much backlash for that. He's like made statements that make him sound religious that I've seen. And I'm like, well, what happened to what you were saying a few months ago? Which, like we said, people can change.
You
but
can change.
I don't know if he's trying to change or
he's
take
trying to be
away
publicity.
Backlash. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to do some publicity. I don't know how you do there, but the weird thing is that after all this, because I remember, because I used to watch Impulsive, and honestly, like, not that I was a big fan of Logan, I just like the dynamic, I guess.
Yeah.
Of, the kind of three of them, whatever, talking, and they brought on cool guests, whatever. It was interesting, and I stopped watching it after he basically like made a joke about God.
Yeah.
And I think it was along the lines of like something like your Bible doesn't believe in gay rights or something like that.
Yeah.
And then he just went off on him. And after that, it was like an onslaught of just getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Logan just got destroyed just by life happening to him. Yeah. And then George and him parted ways or whatever, got off of Impulsive, all that stuff. And George kind of stayed under the rug, went and did his own deal, started building out his own thing. And now, from what it seems on my part, he is more relevant than Logan.
No, yeah, 'cause I remember he posted a few, like when he first started his podcast. I don't remember if he had a guest or what he was doing yet, but like he was pulling a couple 100,000 views on each podcast, and I was like, honestly, it's about the same that Impulsive pulls, but I was like, in my head, I was like, I don't know like what could happen for George for me to think this is more relevant than Impulsive now. But I think having Andrew Tate on was that thing.
And he said that, so they had the part 2 or whatever, and he said that at the end. He's like, thank you, Andrew, for like coming on here like and doing this. It was a good discussion. And I think that like you're gonna blow me up, so I really appreciate it and stuff. But it is like it is an interesting thing because it's like in the end, like who wins, right? Like for the long run. And a lot of people, even if you don't, because I know for me, right, I think of a lot of stuff like very deeply. I go very down philosophical routes and like, what is the reason why I need to say this is truth, right? And if you just want to go surface level, strictly like on the surface of things, to believe in a God, doesn't have to be Christian, whatever, just some sort of higher power. I don't care. It could be like the universe, for instance. Like there's going to be morals that you need to follow, or like karma, because I know a lot of people believe in like karma, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's technically the universe.
I think so.
If you do something bad, then something bad's going to happen back to you. That just makes you a better person while you're living on this earth.
What, believing karma?
Well, I mean, my karma is God, right? I believe.
No, I was just that's what you were saying.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like karma is that.
Yeah.
And God is the one who dishes out karma.
Yeah.
Basically, it's kind of my thing. And any gods, I think, do that. Like God is God fearing. Like he can be very nice, but he can also be very not nice.
Yeah.
Like he can do both because he can do whatever he wants, and. It ultimately comes down to we're all on this planet and eventually going to die, right? We're going to leave this body that we're in, and something's going to happen.
Yeah.
If you're atheist and you just believe it's black, what kind of life is that? Like why? Like okay, so we believe it's black. Now nothing happens. And what if you were wrong, right? What if the atheists were wrong? And they thought, okay, it's going to go black, and that's what they believed, and so boom, they were wrong, and now they come to God, and they're like, I didn't believe in you. He's like, okay, then send them to hell.
Yeah.
What if you just like accepted a little bit of it? You don't have to fully devote him into your heart right now. I'm not saying just go out and just say, I'm not saying that. I'm saying just look into it. Look into some reasons why he may be beneficial into your life.
That's what I'd say, because how you're wording it, like you said, like it's almost like how I used to believe in Santa. Like up until I don't know how old I stopped, but like when I got to like probably, I'd assume like 8, I was probably like, Like, I don't know. Like, if I'm talking to my friends, I don't really believe him. I was like, but I do a little bit just in case. Like, you know, like, just in case he is real, I still want my presents.
Still want the presents.
So, like,
yeah.
So, like, yes, but at the same time, I don't think it's a good idea to, because, I mean, he knows what you're thinking. Like, he knows why you're doing what you're doing. So if you tell him, like, if you're like, yeah, I'm just going to believe just in case he's real, then I get in. Like, yeah, but also you need to have other reasons. Like, I think it's a better reason to start because you want some morals to have, or, like, you want something, like, you want to know there's something above you. Like,
yeah, well, I'm saying on the very, very bottom, like, you're atheist all your life.
yeah.
Like, why? And so the thing with Santa is you end up coming to a point where you realize, oh, Santa's not real.
Yeah.
Right now, we don't have to, like, deal with that. Now it's over.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna go back and say, "Oh, I wish I would have believed Santa wasn't real and they didn't trick me," right? When it comes to that day when you die, you go to wherever, or you just go black or whatever. Like, if that, like, I just don't, I can't believe that. But let's just say, in a hypothetical, we all die and we go to black, nothing. Well, we believed in God and we lived a good life here. We had morals. We had strong morals because we believed in this religion that we followed. So our life was good. And then it's black, and then everyone's the same way. We're all black, nothing.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But now, like, that's one side. But then the alternative. So we're wrong in that case, hypothetical, right? We're Christians. Anyone who believes in God's wrong. But now let's go to the other side. And let's see, when you get to the end, and now it turns out, in a hypothetical world, right, now there's a literal God there. And you're like, oh, there is a God.
Yeah.
We're good. We're like, yeah, we've accepted into our hearts. We're in. Well, they're not. And so what I'm saying is you might as well just start on that path. And what you'll find, because with Santa, you start down the other path, and you start finding things where you're like, oh, wait, like, that was Mom bought those Legos a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Like, you start finding reasons why Santa's not real.
Yeah.
When you start to accept God, in, like, you just accept that when you die, that you are going to face a God. When you accept that, you start to then see and connect dots. You're like, wait, that couldn't happen unless there's some God.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wait, I did this bad, and then this bad thing happened to me. That wasn't just a coincidence. Like, that was something else. And then you start to find reasons why God is alive, why he is real. And then you fall down the path, and then you're like, holy shit, dude, I never believed. I was an atheist all my life, and now I followed these guidelines, I do these things, and now I am a devoted Christian.
Yeah, no, I agree. As long as you're looking to, like, you can start off that way, like, just in case, as long as you're looking to improve your relationship with God. Not, I think if you just stay in that boat of, I mean, yeah, I kind of believe just in case, that way I get to go to heaven, I think that's almost just as bad as not believing at all, unless you're looking to further your relationship and,
But
like, your devotion.
I agree, but my thing is, like, try to, as many people, like, you might as well just start, right? Because I'm not saying you have to automatically just believe and say, I'm going to keep on trying as much as I can until I believe. Just, like, there's a reason to start.
Yeah.
Like, that's a reason.
Yeah.
Just to say, when I'm dead, I'm going to go face, like, the likelihood of me, like, you might as well. That's all there is. And then you'll see, if you believe that, then you'll start to find things that connect in your life where you're like, oh, this makes sense. Like, my life's going to be bad if I do this. There's going to be consequences for this. Where if I give, then I'm actually going to start receiving more. I'm going to have more in return. Like, I'm going to be rewarded for the goodness that I've done. It's kind of cool.
No, yeah, I definitely agree. I'm just saying,
like,
you can't just stop at the, I mean, you can if that's what you want to do, but I don't think it.
You're saying from, like, your beliefs. Like, your belief is that if you just halfway believe in God, then you're not going to be saved.
It's not even halfway, because how I'm seeing it is almost just saying that I believe.
Yeah.
That way, whatever in your head, you're like, no, there's.
Ultimately, it comes down to God. He's the judge. He's the ultimate judge, and he turns down the people who don't follow in his path, don't follow in his word, you're not going to get everlasting life.
Yeah, because I don't know how it works in you're Presbyterian. Or are you still Presbyterian?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. So like I don't know how exactly like it works there, but like for Baptists, it's not saying I believe in God. It's accepting Jesus into your heart.
Yeah.
So like it's on the inside, like what you believe on the inside and what you think. So like I think it's more than just saying like, oh yeah, just in case. But like that is a good, like I agree that's like how somebody should start if they're just completely non-believer. Like,
yeah. Well, so I'm not saying getting baptized or everything, and I'm not even saying being like accepting a Christian God.
Yeah.
Like I'm just saying go from atheist to something.
Yeah.
Like I said, it could be the universe for all I care. Whatever it is, it's going to make your life on this earth better, and you might as well.
I mean, yeah, 'cause I mean, if I believed after we die everything's just black, why would I not go shoot someone that pissed me off?
Yeah.
Because what does it matter?
It's not going to hurt you at all.
Which at the same time, maybe I don't want to say that because then I'm like, the only reason I'm not shooting people is because it's going to hurt me. Like, so I guess I don't agree with that either.
So
but
pretty much every act is a selfish act. Like I've tried to think of a selfless act, and I couldn't think of one because we do it. Like the reason why we do stuff is for ourselves, no matter what. It comes back to being like we are. Like, try to think of one. I've tried.
I mean, yeah, I think like I know what you mean, but I think it can be both because say
Correct.
like
100. But there is a form of it that is selfish. Like
oh no, yeah, I just don't think like because selfish has a bad connotation. But like if, for instance, like all my brother's old clothes, like my mom always she's like, are y'all done wearing this stuff? Because if so, I'm taking it to the whatever, like to the shelter where they give it out. So like it's selfless because those clothes cost money, which she could sell for money, but instead she's giving away. But you like I see how you're saying it's selfish because it's making her like feel better about herself. Like it makes you like doing good makes you feel good.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I just wouldn't use the word selfish just because it has a negative connotation to it. But I'd use like self-pleasing or something or whatever, just because.
Yeah.
But I know what you're saying though.
No, and everything has that, and so because I mean I've tried to think of things where I'm like, because I genuinely think that love is like that thing where that selfless act, just being completely as much selfless for someone else, like taking a bullet for someone, but even that has a selfish connotation to it because you're gonna get remembered for that. Yeah,
but then at the same time, some people really, I feel like, don't think about that in the moment. They're
I
strictly
agree.
thinking like, I want to save that person. Bang.
I agree. But
I don't know, how would that be selfish if that person's not like just in the moment? Like my mom's right there. I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm gonna get so much clout from this.
Not in the moment.
So, but in the moment, it's a selfless act. Maybe after you benefit from it, but you weren't thinking about that.
No, but you've thought about if you're in that case, in that situation, like you've thought about it before. We're thinking about it right now. Like would I jump in front of Parker?
You don't think about it because it's just
no.
Like,
you already thought about it.
I don't know. I disagree with that one.
You don't think? You think you're just gonna jump in front of without thinking prior, without having any knowledge for it, just a random person on the street.
Not a random person on the street, but if my mother's standing there and some guy's back.
But we're thinking about it now.
Yeah, but I'm not going to remember this thought whenever I'm in that moment. I'm just thinking my mom's not getting shot.
I think you are. I think you'll remember it.
I hope you're not thinking about that when your mom's about to get shot. I know I'm thinking, I don't want that bullet hitting my mom. So I don't think I'm thinking about that at all.
So you're not going to try to front. You're going to try to tackle him.
No, not if he's 10 feet away.
I know it's case scenario. It was a good podcast, though, and I definitely recommend it. And then as far as religion goes, I mean, I'm Christian, Parker's Christian. And that's why I like seeing George, I guess, kind of do good. Not for the fact because he's on our team or whatever, but for a fact that like I believe that those morals and ethics that he promotes are good for humanity.
And I like the middle finger to Logan a little bit.
Yeah, the middle
like,
finger
boom.
to Logan as well. So, what do you think? Are you guys religious or not? Did you hate the podcast because you're an atheist? If so, let us know in the comment section below. Otherwise, if you appreciate it and like the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We're here every Monday and Friday, and we'll continue to be. So we appreciate it. Have a good one. See you in the next one. Peace.